Hey, John here. So I got this Honda engine, this Ryobi pressure washer. The fellow that owns it says, well, it's brand new. He said he just bought it last year. This year I go to start it up and it doesn't want to start. So, any guesses? I mean, come on. It's most likely the carburetor's gummed up with the old ethanol crap, but clearly this thing must live outdoors because it's filthy. It's only a year old. So I'll show you it doesn't start. Let's see. On. Choke. Gas is on. I already checked the gas. It's got a full tank of what I think is gas. Smells like gas. And this is a Honda Easy Start, so 3 or 4 pulls should be started by now. So let's just get to the skinny. You already know what it is. Gummed up carburetor. Now in the past I told you that I just replaced the carburetors, but this thing's brand new. I'm just going to take probably just the bowl off, clean it up. I'm not going to get too fancy with it. Spray it out. Maybe if it's easy to get the carb off without too many problems, I will, but if not, I'm just going to drop this bowl, clean it up. I bet you it'll start. So let's see what we got here. So let's turn the gas off. Get this filter down. I'm sure it's just gas related. All right, so it looks like we need maybe 11, 12, something like that. And actually I'm going to take this carburetor right off because it's looking like it's real easy to get to. Yeah, like I've said 100 times before, it's always, it's a 10. It's always the gas on the off-season stuff, always. Especially new stuff. Whoa. Oh, this must hold the carburetor on and everything. This is going to be real easy. Two bolts. I think the whole carburetor is going to come off. Yeah. Jesus. This reaches the other side of the engine. Honda. Oh. Let's see what we got here. Pieces are falling out. There's a gasket. Something's. Yeah. This little guy here. Gotta get a light get behind there. See what's. It's probably just it's just plugged in. A breather tube. Just having a. There's no clamp on it. Just got to get it loose. Alright. It's just a rubber on plastic. Little breather coming out of your valve area. This carburetor's probably just sitting there. It's just loosey-goosey. So, the old Z-bends, right? I don't think we're going to, we might not even have to take this off. I'm just going to see if I can clean things up without taking anything off. Although it looks really easy to do. Alright, screw it. So I'm going to just take the carburetor off. Get this every year things look like they get cheaper and cheaper, built-wise. I mean, these clamps you can, I'm just going to bust this off because it's cheaper than shit. If you want to use yours, you can. I'm just going to put a regular squeeze type on there. So we got that hose off. So this Z-bend, pretty self-explanatory. Z-bend. And this might be just hooked. No, it is a Z-bend. So you got 2 throttle cables in this little spring deal. And it's a no-brainer. There's only 1 hole for the cable, 1 hole for the little spring. Let's take this over to the bench, take it apart, and I'll guarantee you there's some buttons. Yet another 10, so we've only had 1 tool so far, 10 millimeter. Try to save this gasket too. Even a little rubber fella here. Who knew that was coming? Well, so far, I expected that nut to have some garbage on it. Cleans the whistle here, and like I said, I'm going to try to save this gasket. Leave it, don't touch. Let's see if we can get this thing out here. this little pin. I should get a pair of needle nose before I lose it. Take your float out with a needle, don't lose it. This thing looking pretty clean so far. I don't see no garbage on it. So it could be wrong. Could be wrong. Been wrong before. Alright, cover your eyes. So I don't expect anything to come out of here. It looks pretty clean. But the fuel enters here, and if it's clogged in here, that would explain, well, although the bowl had fuel in it, so I'm expecting this to be clean, but I'm just going to hit it anyways. A little shot of fluid. Yeah, nothing came out of there. It was straight fluid. So the next thing I would do is get my little tiny, where did it go? My little tiny screwdriver, flathead, and get this high-speed jet out of there. Flat blade, a flat thin blade. This little Stanley's always worked good for this, but it is copper, so you want a good fit, or brass rather, because you don't want that thing stripping or wowing it out. Alright, I don't have my glasses on, but that looks completely clogged. Right? All I see is double vision. So, this thing is completely clogged. You can't see through it. I wish it was a way for me to show you. You should be able to see right through it. Let me get a wire. So I'm going to spray this in a second. Hold on a second. So, 9 times out of 10, it's always a clogged high speed. So I just use one of these little garage sale ticket cards, that kind of thing, and try to get this wire through there. There. See, it just went through. A little resistance, and I still feel some resistance. You can hear it. There we go. You can see right through it now. That's what you're looking for. There's still garbage in there though. You can see it. Watch your eyes. Still got it in the face. I was looking for the crumbs, but alright, perfect hole now. I'm just looking through in the sunlight. You're never gonna, your camera's not gonna pick it up. So that's honed out, and now before you lose that, put it somewhere. So if this is gummed up, the little set screw, and there, you can't see through the hole, then this is going to be gummed up, and this just isn't falling out of there. So I take a little like an ice pick straight piece and try to get this thing picked out of there. It's being problematic. See if we could just, because you want to spray this jet out, because I'm sure all the holes are goofed up. There it goes, just moved a little bit. See, once you get it to move, it'll come out of there. We're going to clean in there too, but so this one, it can, you know, you just make sure you orientate it right. It came out with the thinner long stem towards the bottom, because you don't want to put this in backwards. I'm sure it doesn't even go in backwards. It won't probably fit backwards. Let's see. It kind of does. So the longer piece goes in on this particular carburetor from the Honda. All right. So now that that's out, wow, stuck again. I take my same wire, just go through the center first, which is a huge hole, and then all these little tiny, which you may or may not be able to see on the camera. This wire should fit in the hole. Yep. And I hone each one of these out, and then we'll spray it out. So I'll be back in a second. There's probably, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 holes that we have to clean out. So let me go through and clean all them out, and I'll spray it with stuff. Alright, so I poked each hole. Now I'll send a little fluid out. So this is going to go sideways every which way but loose here. So get your straw in there best you can, and just give her a toot. And again, this is going to go everywhere, so make sure your eyeballs aren't next to it. And I'm just looking to see every hole. You're going to need to put your, oh, that's interesting. Look at that, it's a little offset toilet bowl. It's not quite square like they usually are. Huh. That's interesting. Never seen that before. I don't know if you can make that on a camera. They're usually straight. Maybe it's a Honda thing. There's no spring on this one, so we just slide it in the slot. Hold it with your finger. And gravity, whatever it takes. Oop, and I just dumped it. You knew that was going to happen, though. You just knew it. Right. Tilt this a little better. Gravity. Gravity's your friend. It's in the hole. Where'd the pin go? I guarantee this thing starts up first pull. Can't guarantee anything. Wow. Just being a little stubborn. A little bit stubborn. There it goes. Center that. There was literally nothing in here. And you don't have to worry which way this goes on because it's completely round. No holes in your high speed. This is a fixed jet. So no cleaning necessary, but you do need your gasket, knucklehead. Put your gasket back in. Bada boom, bada bing. Alright, so we get about 10 minutes into this. Another 5 minutes to hook it up. We're done. Alright, so putting this on should be just as easy as you take it off. But that being said, because the way this plugs in, you know, with just the 2 bolts, getting this gasket that goes in between your carburetor and here, it's going to have to be a feel thing when you put your bolts in, but should be no problem. And this is the gasket for that. It can pretty much only go one way. There's a hole here. This one here is for this side with all these indents, flat side. But you can't really screw that up. The holes line up. You can't put it backwards because you need that hole for this hole. So let's put a fuel line on first. Gotta get a clamp. I destroyed this clamp because they're basically useless. These little tiny wire spring clamps. They got one here too. It's not even on the proper location, but so honestly, if you destroyed your clamp, this will hold on without even a clamp. But I'm going to put one on anyways. But if you don't have one, well, I might not have one. That's a pretty small hose. Yep, yeah, I do. Note to self: get some tiny little clamps for Honda engines. Alright, let's put this Z-bends back the way they were. Let's see what we have here. The back side, the front side. So the back side. Oh, you dumbass. There it goes. You might want to put your Z-bends on first there, knucklehead. Here's the Z-bend for the back and a tiny spring. A tiny spring behind it and the Z-bend for the front. Let's see, how does this go? Did we pay attention? That's closed. So that would be here, right? Open, closed. Maybe it would be here. They got a hole in the front and the back. It's kind of looking like the front. Look for scrape marks if you can't see. But this machine is new, so I'm assuming it's on the front. That's about where it would be. Yeah, there's no impedance there. Open, close. So it was right there. So now, this is the part I was talking about, because we have to hook this hose up. Getting ahead of myself. Let's put this fuel line on now. Alright, so the rods are in, the hose and clamps are in. It's not hooked up yet. I just want to turn this gas on now. and see if there's any leaks. Just wait a second. It should be almost instant. If there's any leaks, we can address, take care of it now, but it doesn't look like it. Everything looks like sealed pretty good, so we can leave the gas on, it doesn't matter. So the next part would be, did that just drip? Or is that a piece of dust? Piece of dust. Yeah, bad lighting. Alright. Yeah. So this piece was next with this little breather hose, and this one doesn't even have a clamp, just fits on that. So here's the part I was talking about. You're gonna have to slide this. Remember this hole that goes over there? We're gonna have to slide this and do it by hand. First, let's or feel it by hand, because the 2 bolts hold everything in. Let's see if we can get this on without too many problems. Barely enough room. Get her started. It's kind of a Mickey Mouse operation here. Once you get that hose in there, boy, it's a little tight in there. There's a little piece of plastic here for this, for your on-off switch wire. Just kind of clips in there, like so. Alright, nothing impeding. Alright, so now we gotta get that gasket in there and the bolt at the same time. So there's one. Yeah, this is kind of a Mickey Mouse operation here. I don't really like this design. Cable's in the way. Through there. I've seen better designs for sure. So I got both bolts started through the gasket and into the carburetor a little bit. So let's get things lined up. See if we can get this started without too much problem. It looks like everything's started. I just want to make sure I'm not pinching nothing before I tighten it down. Alright. Everything looks good. Alright. One last look. Everything looks like it's good to go. Where's my air cleaner? So this thing should start up for first pull, second pull, whatever. Right? Alright. What is choke? Choke, choke, choke. It must be choke. Choke on, choke off. I don't know if I can start it on this table. It might vibrate. Let me get it down. Get her down. Let's see here. On, on. I don't know which way was choke. Let's just try that. Might not even need a choke. Should be good to go, right? There's no other switches. Well, it starts. Seems like it's running rough. Alright, so ran a little rough at first. I'm not sure what that is, but this has one of those idle down things with this cable here is hooked to part of the water valve, so when you pull it on. So I hooked the water up and things seem to be running fine now. I don't know if it had anything to do with it, or maybe there was a crumb or a little bit in there that needed to work its way free inside the carburetor, you know. But I was just running it a second. Oops. So it runs good. Idle's pretty good. That'll step up when you hit the trigger here. So that's all there is to it. Quick fix. I don't know, it seems like every year It's kind of a goofy fit there. It didn't even fit good. Seems like every season, off-season stuff, you know, it's the same old stuff. Clean the carburetor, everything works good. Anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. This is a brand new machine, so I didn't expect anything really wrong with it, other than that little idle problem there. But it seems to be running fine now, so that's all I got. Thanks for watching.